So, welcome everybody. I have decided that we're going to keep doing these lives like this once a month, where we'll have a short premiere on the main channel, and then we'll come over and have a live chat and some sales and giveaways and fun, because it's been really enjoyable doing this year. In spite of my illness this year, a lot of good things came out of 2025. So I will not be entirely glad to see it in the rearview mirror, but I have to admit, from a health standpoint, I'm glad to think that it is just going to be over. And so I am in a new studio, which Zeno did for me, and it is so new. He just sent a message saying, "Darn, you can see the light switch," which I didn't notice that. We haven't got the new cover up yet. But he painted and set it all up while I was gone. He did a ton of stuff. He set up the storehouse and cleaned that out for me and got that so that we will be able to have a sale again next June. We're going to go back to a lot of our regular routine next year, and I'm very excited about that. A do-over on 2025. Yeah, a lot of us might like a do-over. And yes, Sarah, I did just notice that I wore a sweater that makes me basically a talking head against a wall. So hi there. Yes, I hadn't thought of that. We've got to adjust to this. It is camo, so I guess it's supposed to blend in, and it does very effectively. I feel like I'm in a video game. Um, Anyhow, yes, this has definitely been a year of change, of transition for a lot of us. And I think that we're all breathing a sigh of relief that we get to go on to a new year. It's interesting going on to a new year because 2026 means we are at the very beginning of Art Deco items being considered true antiques for the first time, because the very earliest Art Deco things from the year 1925, when the big exhibition was held in Paris, are turning 100 this year. So that is a momentous thing, because it means a new era is passing into the realm of antiquity. Not quite yet for the American Art Deco, because we were not invited to the 1925 Art Deco exposition in Paris. The feeling amongst both the Parisians and people here in the United States was that we didn't really have anything novel to lend to it. And so and as it turned out, that was kind of true. And a lot of our designers went to the fair in Paris and figured out what was going on, and then developed American Streamline Moderne, and that was the beginning of our Art Deco expression. So 2026 is the centenary of some really interesting things. I know that there's a certain appraiser on YouTube who says that whenever anything gets to be the 100-year level, it becomes really popular. Well, Art Deco actually really hit its stride of popularity in the 1980s, and now it's making something of a comeback. So I think that's sort of true and not, depending on your perspective. It's just wonderful to see all of you there in the comments. It's great to have all of you. And I guess I wanted to talk a little bit. I know this all started with these lives as a health update. And what I have to say about that is that I completed my last treatments in October. I had my last PET scan in November. They cleared me for travel in December. I am now in Kentucky. It's the first time I left the state of Washington all year, pretty much. And then I also have been given clearance to resume shows in February, because they wanted me to wait a few months for my immune system to recover. But they did my labs recently. They put me on a very strict diet. So Christmas consisted of salmon and salad and no sweets and no breads. And so it was actually very tasty. It was not full of exciting Christmas cookies and stuff. So you can all torment me by putting your favorite thing that you ate at Christmas in the comments if you wish. But it was wonderful anyway, very quiet and restful. And I hope that the holidays, Hanukkah, Christmas, solstice, Kwanzaa, New Year's, whatever you celebrate, are great for you, and that you're having a nice, relaxing time and getting ready for what comes next. And that is definitely what I'm doing. I am also, yeah, the curly hair. Yeah, I have Scandinavian hair, and this is how it works. It's straight on the top and then it curls out on the bottom, and I usually try to fight that back. And today I was in a hurry and I just let it go. And the reason is that I, for the first time in almost a year, was at my antique mall space at Twin Lakes Antique Mall in Gilbertsville, Kentucky, by Land Between the Lakes, not far from Paducah, where the ladies of Fatbird Finds are based. And I was in there straightening things out and putting in new merchandise. I had people helping me while I was gone, but it is really, really overdue for a makeover. So we changed a lot of things today, put a few new things in, and I've got 7 more boxes full. I have shelves to bring in, and I will be bringing things from Florida. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because the Florida malls, which also have been ignored, although I've had help there too, they have largely sat unattended because I haven't been able to get there in a year. And I will be doing a video about what you do with a space that has been not tended for a long time, because there are times when you are a real world dealer that this happens. And it might be a few months, or in my case, over 9 months that you're away. And what do you do to revive a space that has got a lot of the same things in the same place for a long time? So we'll talk about all that. But the flip side of Florida is that, unfortunately, one of my favorite antique malls I'm involved with, Janet's Antiques, wonderful people, great mall, it is closing at the 15th of January because the owner is 75 years old and she wanted to retire. She offered the building and business to antique dealers, but the real estate has gone up so high in St. Pete that everybody couldn't touch the price, and a neighboring business has bought the building, and so we are going to be moving out. And that is an unfortunate thing that happens. One of the reasons some of my locations are in rural areas that are good tourist locations is that they don't have the same real estate pressure. Big cities are great places to sell antiques and vintage, but antiques and vintage need a lot of cheap real estate. And that doesn't exist in a lot of big cities anymore. So that is the end of an era there, but I will continue to sell at Andrea and Friends in St. Pete, and I will be back in Florida doing shows. I'll be doing the West Palm Beach Antique Show. That's going to be my big first comeback show, and that will be the 4th, 5th, and 6th of February at the West Palm Beach Fairplex. It is a giant show. I believe I will be in building 6, which is the first building behind the main building where they have the monthly show. But this show has up to 1,000 dealers. It's the big extravaganza. A lot of people come down from up north, including me, and we set up and we sell for a weekend. And it is an amazing place to go shop, and it is a great fun time for everybody. So if you're in the Florida area, come see me there, or 2 weeks later, I will be at Mount Dora, and that will be my only Mount Dora show of this winter season. That's their big extravaganza in February, just north of Orlando. I'm not sure what my space number will be because a lot has happened in a year. My friend Susan, who I did sales with for years, has retired from the show business. She is just doing estate sales in the North County area of Pinellas County, where St. Petersburg is, and that's what she's doing in her retirement. So she will not be there, and I will be in a new space. I'm hoping to be near my friend Dave, the antique advertising guy from Michigan, who I've featured in videos before, if there's a space available, but they don't release their spaces until after the January show. So stay tuned for more details on that. I also will be going back to doing appraisal fairs. My first appraisal fair will be at Dusty Rose in Titusville, Florida. The weekend between those shows, I believe that is Saturday the 14th. And I also will be doing a show the last weekend of February in Columbus, Georgia. And I will give more information about that when we have the live in January. Somehow I got lactate eggnog. Oh, I miss eggnog. That is something I really enjoy this time of year that I honestly haven't gotten to have. Christmas was fruitcake. Okay, I just want to say, no offense, Mom. My mother, my dearly departed mother, was not a good cook. The one thing she could do really well was fruitcake. And every year I would hear people say, "Ah, fruitcake." And I'm like, that's the one good thing my mother makes. So I do not subscribe to the fruitcake is terrible thing. Um, let's see. Russian tea cakes. That sounds good too. Kitschy Corner, yes, I agree. It is too bad someone couldn't keep it going. It is a rare case where a business closes. This is talking about Janice and St. Pete. Their sales are the best they have ever been. This is not an issue of, oh, well, the business has dwindled and we don't have customers. It is actually the opposite. The owner had to come out of retirement because the people she leased the building to, one retired and the other one passed away. So she took it back. She kept it open for 2 more years. She said she's exhausted because in October, which is typically the slowest day or the slowest month of the year in Florida, because it's hot, people are back in school, the tourists aren't down yet. She had the busiest Saturday in the history of the store, and she said she was so exhausted from it, she realized that she just was at the point in life where this was too much for her. So sometimes success is the problem. Um, yes, sometimes fruitcake is awesome when it's good. I agree. Um, my favorite meal mom made growing up was Little Debbie's. Yes, I have to agree. I used to suck down those oatmeal cream pies, and I'm not allowed to do that anymore, but it was fun while it lasted. Um, so let's see. In closer events, I should talk about this week. We have this tonight. On Wednesday, we will have a premiere of a member video. And afterwards, we will have the level 3 member chat. So those of you who are level 3 members, please come join me for that. We will be talking about trends for the new year in the old world of antiques and vintage. And we will also be talking about your suggestions. We have a couple already. Lisa Keller and Oodalali Shop have both made suggestions for future videos. I love it when members come up with the ideas for that. So if you are a level 3 member or you decide to join on that level, please let me know your ideas for topics you'd like to discuss. And then on Thursday, New Year's Day night at 7 p.m. Eastern, instead of our usual 8 p.m. time, it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a sale here in concert with Rosie's Auction House. It is a bid call sale. And what that means is that, and you can look, and we've already got, or we're about to have, I think, if it's not now, it'll be tomorrow. We will post for the sale, and it will show the Facebook link to her site where she has all 80 lots already shown in pictures, and you can preview the sale. And if you're not able to be there on New Year's Eve, you can even leave a bid. And then we do it as an auction style sale, a pretty rapid auction style sale. We don't linger like we do sometimes in the sales like we do tonight. So you can check that out, and we would love to have you come join us for that. It's a lot of fun, and I get to work on my very novice auctioneering skills. So she lets me call some of the sales, which is great fun. And that is to help get me ready for Teak Stock, which we will be doing again. That will be in May on Mother's Day weekend. I will be there in Michigan. It's right in the middle of southern Michigan by the Indiana border. So all you folks in the Midwest, it's actually within an 8-hour drive, maybe a little longer to Minneapolis, but basically anywhere from the Ohio River and the Great Lakes to the center is within a day's drive, and it's a lot of fun. And we'll do auctions and appraisal fairs there, as well as having people come and set up and sell, and it's free admission, free for you to come sell. So please show up for that if you can. And then the following week, and I will be in Springfield, Ohio, and I'll be doing the show with some of the folks here in the chat. And then there'll be more shows and sales and appraisal fairs coming as time progresses. So I am looking forward to making my comeback, and this will be the year for it. What town is it in? It is near Marshall, Michigan, Miss Udalali. It is, it's actually a little teeny town called Homer. They are out in the country, but Marshall, Michigan, and Battle Creek is the bigger town of size. In Battle Creek, I still have some distant cousins there. and we'll be seeing a few of them. So it's a little bit of a homecoming for me as well. I was born there actually and lived there for exactly 2 weeks because my dad was in the service and mom got us, she went to have me where family was and got us on the airplane and back to Jacksonville where he was stationed. And so I was a Michigander for 2 weeks once, right at the beginning. Um, let's see here. Yes, thank you. I am back and many things to look forward to, and I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of you in person. I, again, can't thank all of you enough. So many wonderful ways that you supported me. Thoughts and prayers, gifts, and financial help in some cases. But just also just knowing that you're out there and having something to look for, having a reason to get up when I didn't really feel too great some days and work on the next video because I knew that we were going to get to spend time together and share adventures and fun. And that really, really helped keep me going. So I can't thank all of you enough. And it's just wonderful to be part of this group of people. And I just have a lot to be thankful for. Including a couple of little gifts that came my way. And there's a third one Miss Wildlife forwarded from someone who I'd like to thank, but I don't know who it is yet because I couldn't get to the post office today to pick it up, but apparently it's a piece of Fenton Burmese. That was very kind. Lisa Keller, who I think is here in the chat. I wanted to show this. This is a gift from her. This is a Weller apple bud vase. And I love getting this because this reminded me, and it's 1910, so it has their typewriter print signature, as I like to call it, with the embossing. I have fond memories of this pattern because when I was at Antiques Roadshow and one of the items I picked that belonged to a friend of mine got her on Antiques Roadshow, they said, well, she has to be the one on TV. And because it's her item, and so even though I brought it, they took her to the green room and took her item to put on Antiques Roadshow. And they left me there, and I knew it was going to be a few hours before she was filmed. So I stood by the ceramics table because the items we brought were porcelain that got chosen. And I stood there, and every time someone would come up to the table, the appraiser of ceramics was standing there, and I'd go, oh, that's a blah, blah, blah. And he'd say, why, yes, it is. And after the third time, which was a Weller piece, I said, oh, that's Weller's Baldwin apple. He turned and looked at me and said, wouldn't you like to go backstage with your friend? Which was a very kind way of saying, you are getting in my sphere here. I'm capable of doing this. I don't need you kibitzing. And that is how I ended up going backstage at Antiques Roadshow and meeting appraisers and having them suggest I go to appraisal school. So Weller Baldwin apple has figured prominently in my development as an antique dealer. And the other part that I got is the other piece that I got, also ceramic, is this piece. And this came courtesy of Dee from Thrill of the Thrift. I don't know if you've ever watched Dee on YouTube, but I enjoy her channel. She's in, I think, the Buffalo, New York area. She's got a great sense of humor, and she had one of her fans a gift. This came from Virginia Lawson, known as Virginia Hello. And this came to me in Kentucky. And so I just got it, even though I think it's been here for probably several months. I think it was sent here when I first was ill. And so I wanted to belatedly thank Virginia for this and Dee for sending it. And I also wanted to show it because this piece of treasure craft, that is a red and white glaze. They did the single color with white glazes for a very, very brief time in the 1970s, and the red is actually really, really scarce. And I don't know if the person who got this for me knew that, but they knew I liked treasure craft and wrote the book on it, and there is the mark on the back. So this is actually a rather difficult piece to get, and I was very excited about it. And I'm sorry, Janet, I know you collect ashtrays, but this one I'm keeping. So I'll look for another one for you. Anyhow, thank you to all of you. And yes, it does look 3D in the middle. Yeah, the great thing about this is it was Treasure Craft's decorators who were a bunch of mainly Hispanic American women who had worked with them since the days of painting the green and painting the faces on the sprites back in the 1940s. who came up with the idea of these glazes. They wanted to make a swirled glaze, but it had to be something they could do in a single application because it was very expensive to do a glaze and then fire another glaze and never, and then another one. And the decorator said, well, why don't we just put the glaze in ketchup bottles and we'll do a squirt on top of the other glaze and then put it in the oven and watch what it does when it cooks together. So they did it as an experiment, and they came out with all of these really crazy three-dimensional psychedelic glazes. And it was somebody, you know, and this is why I always am a big believer. If you're a manager, listen to the people who work for you. They're the ones doing it. Ask their ideas and involve them. That entire line that kept that company in business for years was because somebody who made probably slightly over minimum wage said, why don't we try this? So I just think that that's a really cool story. I actually am going to be meeting the son of the founder of Treasure Craft. They are still producing specialty lighting. They have a very small crew that works there now in that big old factory, but they still produce ceramic lighting to order for people. And he has a bunch of the old Treasure Craft stuff, some old dead stock left up there. And he said after he picks out the things that he wants, that he's going to send some with me, because I told him I want to have a Treasure Craft sale and talk as a special live sometime probably this fall. So lots of things to look forward to. Let's see there. Oh, Country Living Magazine has their 12 antiques for 2026 out now. I will have to check that out because I will especially be curious, because what I've noticed the last few years is when I look at what they say, here's the trends in decorating, certain trends come up year after year. This is the new trend. This is the new trend. I'm like, wait a second, you said that 5 years ago. And I realized some of these magazines just keep interviewing the same people over and over. And if my shop happened, there's one that swears that Georgian antiques are going to be all the rage. And finally, I looked into who is that expert. It's someone who sells Georgian antiques. Well, gee, surprise. So I look a little deeper now for trends. So I'll have to see what Country Living says, because they usually get a pretty good breadth of people who decorate in a country style, and they have a pretty good pulse of their finger on the pulse of that market. So, well, let's see here. I think that what I'd like to do is first of all, thank all of you who are watching, who are with us on Patreon and YouTube. And thank you also to everybody who is a subscriber, who is a member, and all you lurkers out there. For the sales that we do on the live channel, we do have to have you be subscriber. I think it's 2 hours before the sale. And the reason we do that, it's not because we want to shut anyone out, it's because we want to shut trolls out, and that's the most effective way to do it. So if you're in the comments, you should be able to bid. And so all of you who are in the comments, you are able to bid now. Now, I have been yammering and I haven't actually looked at the comments. So if you have questions or things you'd like me to talk about right now, please pop them in again, and I'll try to take a quick look back right here and just see if there's anything that I missed. And then if you have any stuff, let's see. I compared an older video before you found out you were sick to your videos now. And yes, thank you. It is a wonderful, joyous thing. And I got a note from Sarah, who's here in the chat with us, after a video I did a couple months ago. I put out a video with footage that I had filmed back in March, and she sent me a private message and said, have you had a relapse? You looked really bad tonight. And I said, no, that was from the beginning of all of this. And yes, I understand now. I honestly, I didn't really know how sick I was. And maybe that's a good thing. I think that sometimes our bodies, part of the shutdown and the droopy is so that we don't have to have the full brunt of the suffering. So I think that's I think I was fortunate in that way, actually. But yeah, I was kind of shocked to see how bad I looked back in March when I did my last appraisal fair in Indiana. It looked like I was at death's door. So definitely feeling much better now. And thank you. Lots of wonderful comments in the chat. I'm just looking back. I don't see any specific questions. I'm going to look down here now. Cloud Dancer is a shade of white. Ah, interesting. So I was going to look up the Pantone color of the year. It's interesting they picked white because white has been such a big decorating color for the last several years. I kind of think people are a little tired of it, and that's why I think a lot of people are collecting colored glass and very colorful objects. And I wonder if they are promoting white because white is something they think is going to be the neutral, like it has been, or if they're thinking that people are going to start looking for color and then put white objects against it. White is a very safe color. And it may also be that because 2026 is the bisesquicentennial, semi-sesquicentennial, I think, 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, they may have said, well, red, white, and blue, white is the safe color. We'll say that's the one. So I'm curious about that. So your white and off-white mid-century floor line is in fashion. Yes, I think the white ceramics are great because they look great against any color you put them against. As far as trends that I'm not necessarily predicting, but would love to see and personally am interested, I noticed the two things I showed you, ceramics, pottery. I see people interested in pottery again in a way that I haven't for a long time because I think that it's a nice counterpoint to glass in a lot of displays. There's a Blanco collector in Denver who has a wonderful collection of Blanco, and they put treasure craft with it because the brown creates a neutral, and then the colors in the treasure craft match the colors in the Blanco glass from the 1960s because those were the designer colors of the day. So it's fun. Yikes, that's a mouthful. Am I having fun traveling again? I really am. I went from Seattle to Tijuana, saw our friend Betty, and I also did a little filming along the way, including one video from Mexico with her. We went to a new place that neither of us had been before and did some picking. It was very good. I did some picking along the way, and we're about to have a sale. And I'm doing something I haven't done before. Usually when I pick along the way, it's with the idea that I'm going to be doing shows and I put all the new merchandise in my box for shows. Well, this time I decided to split the difference, and everything that you see tonight is something that I got, including the 3 giveaways, is something I got on this trip and just bought, and it is fresh as fresh can be. It's never been in a mall. It's never been to a show. It is the latest stuff that I've gotten. And I thought it would be really fun to share that with you. And that's something I haven't done before. So I think that will be really great. And we'll do that in a moment. Actually, Miss Wildlife, it was wonderful here yesterday. It was 70 degrees in Kentucky, and we were a little scared because the day the tornado hit 4 years ago, it was 70 degrees. It's 30 degrees here now, too. So we had a big switch today. Trevor Tobine says that he thinks milk glass will probably do well. I think it may, because again, it's a good neutral. And there's some really good quality milk glass from Fenton and Westmoreland in particular. In fact, several of the pieces that I have in the sale on Thursday are white. It's my January white sale. You'll have to see that. And let's see here. George, it is great to see you too. Show and tell, bring and brag. Yes, I really enjoy that. And so we're going to do that coming up in just a moment. I wanted to make sure I said one other thing, and that was questions, and I did that. Okay. And so I retired from sewing slip covers and I'm so done with white. Yes, I get it. Everybody wants neutral for upholstery because they're not sure what's going to match things. And maybe that's why the white is the thing. So semi-quincentennial. Thank you, Peter. Yes, that is the name of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence or the 250th anniversary of anything, and I expect you all to memorize that word and use it in a sentence so that you can dazzle your friends. Let's see. American Independence Celebration. Any thoughts? I doubt the hype that Colonial or 1976 is coming back. I was a little surprised. I actually talked about this a few months ago on our member chat, and I was surprised some 1976 bicentennial stuff actually is coming back, and not just the silver stuff because silver's really priced high. Some of the better quality things, some of the signs, some of the really weird stuff that they decided was appropriate. Like there's a chainsaw painted with the flag on it in red, white, and blue from 1976 that sells for $300 now. So some things, yes, there was a lot of schlock made too that is not really worth much. It's in every thrift store and it will be again. I'm sure this year there will be some very good quality things made and there will be some schlock. When you get back to 1926 and 1876 revival items, from those celebrations, those are pretty good money. So there is a collector audience, but you need to be specific. Let's see here. Yes, I remember the bicentennial too. We did a diorama of the city of Seattle and then blew it up with fireworks. I was 10. Well, let's see. I think we'll go ahead and get on with the sale and giveaways. We're going to do 10 lots. We're going to start all of them at $10 each. So if you see them, if you see it and it's up for sale, you can bid right away. And I am going to put in, and I'm going to do it in caps so that you can go back and find it in your chat. This is where to send, because I had a couple of people buy things and then afterwards they weren't able to contact me because they didn't know how. theantiquenomad@gmail.com. I just put it in the chat. That is where, if you are the winner of a giveaway or one of the sale items, you will be able to reach me. So let's start. And like I say, all of this is very squeaky fresh to me. I just got all these pieces and we're going to do choice on all of these, and it's let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. It's an overlay. Okay, if I can find the overlay, well, that's the .com. Yeah, I don't think I got that overlay in here. Zeno just sent me a note saying I could put the overlay in, but I messed it up. So yes, Betty was doing very nicely when I saw her. We had a wonderful time. And I will say one thing real quickly about the travel, and then I'll get on with the sale. I'm definitely rehabbing. I'm trying to do Tai Chi every day. I'm on a strict diet. I'm better, but I'm not as strong as I was because it's been a year of pretty sedentary stuff after me not being a sedentary person. So I am having to build back into it. So I'm not driving as far every day when I'm traveling. I'm stopping earlier. I'm resting more and taking a little more time. And, it's nice. All right, so here's our choice for the first item. It's blue console bowls, and these are from the 1920s and 30s. And again, $10 is the opening bid, and you can just put the number in the comments when you wish, and I'll tell you a little about each of these. This one is a two-piece. This is stretch glass. Stretch glass is 1920s era. It's similar to carnival glass, and this one does come with the black base. And, oh, you can see my face through it. Very ghostly. Ooh, look at that. I'm amusing myself. Notice it's like carnival, but it stretches at the end. So what they would do is they would make the piece and they would spray this on like carnival. This iridescence is a metallic oxide they spray on while it's still hot. But then they, in the case of stretch glass, they would reheat it a little bit so it would crackle along the edge. And that is how stretch glass came to be. And this one has a very nice black base with it. The other piece is a piece that I believe is by Hazel Atlas. It's a pattern we almost never see. It's a very deep cobalt blue, and it has this really very pretty sort of fan shape on it, and the solid handles, which were definitely something we see as we go into Art Deco. And I just think that, and no pontil mark, no pontil mark on either of these. All of these are molded pieces. So they do not have a pontil mark. They are not hand blown. And so Miss Wildlife, $33 is the high bid. Thank you very much at present. And we'll make sure that we give you folks a chance to bid, whoever's in. If you're out, let us know. And if at a certain point, if it starts to slow down, we'll call the auction and then we will move on from there. But this is for choice. Yeah, beautiful colors of blue. And Jody is here. It's nice to see you. Rob, it's nice to see you. I'd mentioned all of you by name, but there's a lot of you in the chat, and I'm very glad to have you with us tonight. $38 now, the high bid for choice. And I know there's a few of you looking at these. There are no chips or cracks. I will say there is one item tonight, and I'm sorry, Janet, it's the ashtray after I told you that I had an ashtray tonight. Does have one little chip, so when we get to that, I'll make sure and show you, because I don't want anybody to buy something and not know the condition. Okay, Willie Joe's out, so Jody and Miss Wildlife, let us know. And again, it's the single piece or the two pieces together in the case of the stretch glass. And I am shipping from Kentucky, so I'm kind of in the middle of it. And okay, I think Jody, this is yours. I'm going to go ahead and put in sold. So we're going once, going twice, and we are sold. So Jody, let us know if you are interested in the stretch glass console with the foot, the Hazel Atlas, or both. And if you only take one, then we'll let the backup bidder have the choice of the other one. We are going to do 3 giveaways, like I mentioned, as well. And we will have secret words. They won't be secret. I'll tell you what they are, and we'll have you put them in the chat. And then Zeno with the Nightbot random generator, it will pick one. So everyone has a chance. Okay, she'd like the 2-piece. And Willie Joe and Miss Wildlife, if either of you are interested in the Hazel Atlas piece, let us know in the comments. And I will make a note that Jody is getting that one. All right. And Miss Wildlife would like the Hazel Atlas. I think that's a beautiful piece. Very nice. Okay. And she gets that. Very good. Thank you. You'll take Hazel home. That's very nice. Hazel would like a nice home to live in. Excuse me. Pardon me. Drinking problem. That is water, I promise. Let's see. Okay. Our next lot here is going to be cute little things on wheels, and they're from 2 different eras. And again, $10 is the starting bid. And what we have are the choice of 2 characters on wheels, and they're a little different from one another. The first one here, this hand-painted girl on her scooter with her dog, who looks like a Westie or something, is German, and it is from the 1930s, Willie Joe, with $10. Thank you. I should probably highlight that. That would make things easier for people to follow. It has the Germany mark, and it has a maker mark, and I have to be honest, like I said, I just got these things. I haven't had a chance to see. Oh boy, my lights are very bright. Okay, there's Germany. I haven't had a chance to look up the maker mark, which is that impress mark. It's almost pretzel-like, and if it is the pretzel, then that would make it Goebel. But it seems a little different than that to me. So I don't know that it's a Goebel piece, but it certainly is very fine in terms of the painting of the face. I think they did a very nice job on it. The other piece, which I think is really fun, is this one. And this is Lucite from the 1970s, and this is the Jester on the unicycle. It's so funny, Connie Jean, who I think is here in the chat, her husband very kindly gave me a unicycle. I could not figure out how to master it, though. This one is signed. Now, this is something I look for just as a point of education for all of us. Someday, and a few of the people are known already, but someday there's going to be scholarship on who these makers of the Lucite are. And there is a signature here. I actually look for signed pieces when I can find them. because I think the signatures make these really interesting. So $10 choice on these. If anyone else is interested, go ahead and put your number in the comments, because otherwise we'll move on and we'll sell other things. But these are the choice. And yeah, my lights are a little bit hot. So they're a little bleached out, but I think that'll be good for most of this stuff because we have a lot of dark things against a dark background tonight. So we've just got one bid from Willie Joe, and I think we're going to let Willie Joe have their choice of these here. If anyone else is in, speak now or hold your peace, and there'll be more things to look at next. So we are going once. We are going twice. And we're going to go ahead and sell this, folks. So we are sold. Willie Joe, let us know in the comments if you're interested in one or both. They're both cute in very different ways. And I think both of these I got in California. I shopped in California, Oregon, Tijuana, Mexico, Arizona, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Missouri on the way. I pretty much hit every state. Okay, very good. And yes, I'd love to meet you at the mall. That sounds great. It'd be nice to see you again. So I will put those down and show $10 for both of those. Got it. All right. We've got 2 lots of jewelry tonight because I know there's a lot of jewelry lovers here. And I have to say, you haven't seen me sell a lot of jewelry this year, and there's a reason for that. I'm going to be starting shows again, like I said. And this year, at first, when I was not feeling well and I wasn't sure how treatments were going to go and how long I might be out, I thought, well, I'm going to hold the jewelry aside because it's something small and it's lightweight and it's easy to deal with. And if this lingers for a long time, that might be all I can really focus on for the time being. So I wasn't selling it as it came to me. Then after I started to get better and they said, you're going to get well and you're going to be able to do shows again, but you're going to have to build back into it, I thought, I better hold jewelry for shows because it's something that I can carry easily and spread out. And if I can't carry a lot of heavy boxes, well, it looks like I'm going to be able to carry a lot of heavy boxes too. So now I can release some of the jewelry. Sell that unicycle. Ha 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 ha. Well, I did put it out for sale, and so far I haven't had any takers because I haven't found that person who can do what that guy on the unicycle that we just saw could do. So these are $10 each, and it's choice. They're 1970s. The first one is this. This is a pendant. It is cloisonné. It likely was made in Japan. And it's got very 1970s colors, and it's a heart shape. And it's pretty substantial. It's about 2 inches, and it's got some thickness and heft. And then the other one is this Flower Power daisy pin. And I just thought this was really great. It's like a Black-Eyed Susan, actually, and it's in really good condition. And so it is choice on the 2 pieces of jewelry. And I promised to take the purple string out of this one. It was hanging up by that in the display when I got it. Okay, Miss Wildlife is the the ring light makes it look like it has eyes. It'd be kind of cool if it did, don't you think? So $10 is our opening bid on this. And yes, it does look like it has eyes. Oh, that's so cute. I almost wish it did, but it doesn't. Or at least they move around. 11 for Jody. And again, all of these are choice, so you can take one or both. And if there's a backup bidder, the backup bidder will, whoever bid the second highest bid will have the first rights on it. Sylvia at 12, now Sarah at 15. Welcome back from Orlando and Disneyland. I hope you had a great time. I'm sure you did. I look forward to hearing about it. Miss Wildlife's out. So Jody, Sylvia, let us know. Sarah's the high bidder at 15 for choice currently. And Jody is out. Sylvia, let us know. And then we will move on. We do have one more jewelry lot a little bit later. I bet you did. That's great. Yes, one of the topic that Oodalolly Shop suggested, which I will work on because I think it'll be a fun one for one of our chats, will be um, Disney items made by various companies and who they worked with, because they've worked with a whole lot of people. Okay, everyone else is out. So Sarah, you are the winner of choice, and let us know. Oops, let me actually hit enter there. Let us know in the chat if you're interested in the heart or the flower or both. And if there's one left, then we will make that available to the backup bidder, who is Sylvia. Okay, you'll take the heart. Very good. And I would be very interested in help with that topic, Sarah. I know Lisa Keller also suggested something on what dog collectors look for, and it turns out there's some specifics of that that are interesting, and I'm going to ask for her help with that too. Okay, so Sylvia, let us know if you're interested in the Black-Eyed Susan. And Sarah, I've got you down for this piece. Now I'll go ahead and set that down. An original Charlotte Clark Mickey. Oh boy, wouldn't that be amazing? I've seen one in all the years I've been doing this. They are just not too common. Okay, Sylvia passes on that. Very good. I'm going to text Zeno and let him know one more item and then a giveaway. I like to give him a little bit of a heads up so that he can be ready for us. Miss Wildlife will take it. Okay, very good. I should have made it available to you because you were the next backup after that. Thank you for mentioning. And Miss Wildlife, you get that for 15. Okay. Let's see here. So, yes, this will be an interesting choice because they're very different, but they're very ruby red. And one of them, again, $10 initial bid to start on these. This one, of course, is a Moon and Stars goblet, and it is truly ruby. It is not amberina. It is ruby red all the way through. Ruby red was the most expensive color when these were new because they had to use colorants that were more expensive. This one is a little shell dish for from Italy. And this is 1960s. It's a wonderful ruby red. Also, my lights make it look a little brighter than it is, but it's actually a deep red. And there's the Made in Italy mark. And if we didn't know that for sure, the way you can tell, they are embossed. Yes, exactly. Very good question, Peter. I was just going to get to that. See the leaves and flowers here. If they are painted flat, it's Bohemian. If they're embossed, if they're raised, it's Italian. And that's how you know the difference. So this one tells us it's Italian, but if you didn't have that sticker, you would know. And it is nice that it has the sticker. We have Corinne at 15, now Lorraine at 16. Nice to see all of you. And it is nice that it has the Old Italy sticker, just because that proves what we've been telling people is the truth. And of course, Moon and Stars. I went to a restaurant when I was in Washington that I haven't been in years, in Centralia, the town between Seattle and Portland, where all the antique shops are, called Country Cousin. It's been there since the 70s, and it's one of those wonderful places with the decoupage with all the old advertising and flyers and things in the tabletops, and there's a 1910 brush automobile hanging above the entrance. And when I was a kid, they have a little candy shop at the front. Moon and Stars was what all the candy was kept in back then, because back then you could just order more. $17 with Corinne. Okay. Don't kick me out to go backstage. Ha ha. No, you may stay here as long as you like. So 17 on that. And Jody, thank you, and Miss Wildlife, for working that out. I don't want to step on anybody. Sometimes I forget because I don't do these sales all the time like some people do. So it's kind of a special occasion, but I don't always remember my manners. So $17 for choice with Corinne. Lorraine, let us know. And anyone else who's interested, let us know. The size on the tray is approximately 4 inches by 4. Ah, Oodalolly Shop, $18 for choice. Hello again. And I'm actually surprised how much the Moon and Stars is so popular now, and it is still selling really actively. And I'm glad to see it because it's really good quality glass. In the late 60s and early 70s, big, heavy, thick glass with great quality was really popular. And then we had the Arab oil embargo, and the price of shipping went way up, and all of this stuff went away really fast because it was heavy to ship. And we got much flimsier stuff after that. Okay, Lorray is out. This Oodalolly is out. So I believe, Corinne, that makes it yours at $19 for choice. I'm going to put in sold. Oh, that is my friend Pam, but she doesn't know I'm on the air, so I'll have to call her back. Okay, $19 choice, Corinne. Let us know which one. And then we're going to do our first giveaway in just a moment. Okay, she'll take the dish. Very good. I think the flash glass does make people appreciate the solid. I do agree with that. All right, so Corinne for 19. And Miss Udalali, you were next in line. If you're interested in the Moon and Stars, let us know. And if not, Lorray, let us know. And then we'll move on to our first giveaway. And while we're doing this, I'm going to tell you the first word and the way to enter the giveaway if you're interested. Well, let me show you what the giveaway is. Our first one. Okay, no thank you on that. So we've got our sale for that. Our first giveaway are a pair of authentic Beatles cards from 1964. And it's so funny because, of course, parents were so shocked by their mop top hair, and yet here's a picture of them all with buzz cuts. And so we know that's really early. And no, that's not Paul McCartney's real signature that was printed on the cards, because it would be worth a whole lot of money if it was. But they're a lot of fun. So the word to put in is Auld, as in Auld Lang Syne, and Auld, A-U-L-D. I'll type it in there. If I win because I typed it in, we'll have another drawing and we'll let someone else have it. But this is the way it's spelled. So put in the word Auld if you are interested in being in the giveaway. And we'll give you a few minutes to get that in there. And then Zeno will have the Nightbot do the drawing randomly. And it's so nice to see so many of you folks here tonight. I am just really glad that we're able to get together. I know it's the middle of the holidays, but I figured a Monday night would probably be a good day for a lot of people. Ah, Betty R., we were just talking about you. We just sold the little dish you and I got together in Tijuana, the Italian one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the back of these. These are from the second series and third series of cards. They were so popular in 1964 as they fronted the British invasion that they made several series of these cards. So, and yes, that earlier Beatles pick is funny to me too, because that's just not what we think of them looking like at all. So, okay, we're going to give, oh, Jan's got a bunch of Beatle cards. Yeah, I think a lot of people do collect these. And we're going to set those aside while we let all of you get your word in. And then I think you thought it was the Stooges at first. Yes, except there were 4 instead of 3. And they definitely had that look. That's so funny. Okay. All right. We are going to have our drawing any minute now. I think we have everybody in. Yeah, that really was a pretty shell dish. Ah, Sassglass one. Well, very good. Nice to have you with us. I will make a note of it. I don't think I have your address, like I've been telling everyone. And no, the buzzcut beetle card I haven't really run into either. It's not as common as the other ones. I have a feeling that a lot of the people who collected them back when they were new didn't think they were as cute with the buzzcut and didn't keep them. Um, so, and I'm going to go ahead and put in again just for fun because I don't seem to have the overlay. This is where you send your information to let me know you are a winner of either a bid or a giveaway tonight, and that way we'll make sure we get you your stuff. So, all right. Our next round here, this is going to be for choice, and there's a grouping. So I'll show you two different groupings, but I'll just give you the idea right away because 3 are small and 3 are larger. So it's $10 opening bid for the lot of either of these, either 3 Mexican miniature ceramics or 3 Danish ceramics. And I'll show them and talk a little bit about them. And if you are interested, $10 is the opening bid, and it's for the entire group of either. So the group of 3 Mexican pieces, these are miniatures that were done in the 1970s, and it's a lot of 3, and they are done in the style of ceramics done in Tlaquepaque. Tlaquepaque is next to Tonalá near Guadalajara, and it's where a lot of the pottery that are our favorites are made. So there are the 3 pieces. That is one lot. A cute little picture, all hand painted. This little plate with the handles, and the third piece is this piece. And I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a mocajete. Maybe Betty can tell us. I did not recognize this exactly because it has holes in the bottom and then this interesting triangular shaped hole underneath, like it's supposed to drain. So that was something new on me. And then, so it's that choice or $10 for these 3 pieces. And these are Danish and also from about 1970. A whistle, well, I don't think so. Ah, you put coals in there. Thank you. That makes sense. Okay, that makes perfect sense because the coals would heat through the holes. So there you go. Something for your dolls. A stove. Yes, yes. Peter is right. You know, Peter, I think you do have to come backstage because I need your help. um, all right. These are Danish, and it's these 3 pieces, $10 starting bid, and these are by a designer named Zuythen, and there is their signature, all hand decorated, and this is actually redware stoneware. We've got Susan at $10 for opening bid, and I think these are really cool. I like the decoration. It's just I don't know, it sort of looks like snow almost, and they're glazed on the inside so that they don't leak and they can be used. So you've basically got a little creamer or pitcher on a stand, and then next to it, a place for the spoon or perhaps toothpicks or that sort of thing. So a little service set. And we have Jody at 11, Susan at 12, Sylvia at 13 for choice. So there's that set, or again, the 3 Mexican miniatures. I met a woman today at Twin Lakes Antique Mall while I was working on my space who is very excited about miniatures because she said she's relatively young. She said, I love collecting. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and I've decided to have miniatures because I love so many things. I can't fit them all, but if I get miniatures, I can have whatever I want. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. And so these are the 3 pieces from Tlaquepaque. And now we have Lorraine at 16, Susan at 18 for choice. So these remind me a lot of, we went to a market, not this trip, but previous trip in Tijuana, we went to a market where they sell a lot of handmade ceramics and not in miniature that look a lot like these. I feel her pain. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes. Small is beautiful. And then again, here is the Danish set. Yes, I thought the colors and designs were really fun too. Those actually came from an estate sale in Oklahoma City, whereas this set came from a thrift store in Bakersfield, California. A kind of interesting thrift store right next to all the antique malls. I'm looking forward to showing you. Um, I'm looking forward to showing you all the videos from the various places I shopped along the way. One nice thing about having to take a slower pace is I was able to film every day because I needed to take a break, and getting out and walking around was a great way to do it. And yes, I agree. I do think that's why people like paperweights, is because you get all this cool design in a size where you can fit a lot. And paperweights are like a little world you can escape into. So Susan is at $18 our high bid. And so Lorraine and Sylvia let us know. And I'm going to set these down for a moment. Or maybe I'll just hold up picture in picture. Happy New Year, Nancy. It's great to see you. So yes, there is a study in miniature. Miniature, not miniature. This could be for your doll or your parakeet, and this can be for you. Lorraine is out. If anyone else is in, let us know, but I think we're going to wrap this up. And question, when we can have another sip and chat with you and Zeno? You know, that would really be fun. We haven't done that for a long time. I will have to get Zeno to commit to a time for that. I've got so much running around to get things ready right now that I think down the road that's a great idea. So sold and Susan at $18 choice. Let us know. Would you like the Mexican miniatures or the Danish set? And I will make a note that these are for you. Okay, she would like the Danish set. And whoops, let me make sure I get that right. And Mexican minis. Okay, the Mexican miniatures are up for grabs, and our second bidder was Lorraine. So Lorraine, if you are interested in the 3 little Mexican pieces, let us know. And if not, we will have them up for grabs. If anyone wants them, you can just put that in the chat, but Lorraine has first dibs. 25 years ago, my customer told me his entire pen collection fits in his desk. Yeah, what a great collection too. Boy, pens. We had that video recently from Bainbridge Island where I took the ferry over, and that pen collection was amazing. Okay, let's see. Sold to Lorraine. Yes, okay, very good. Thank you, Lorraine. We will put you down for those. And thank you, Peter. See, I'm telling you, Peter, I do need your help. This is good. Thank you. Okay. Well, next, I thought these were fun, and these came along the way. And again, $10 choice will be the opening bid on this. Is your first show back going to be in Florida? Yes, that's right, Sylvia. My first show back, my first 2 shows will be in Florida. I will be in Florida in West Palm Beach on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of February for the big extravaganza, and I will be in Building 6. And I will be in Mount Dora for their big extravaganza just north of Orlando 2 weeks later on the 22nd to 24th of February. I wanted to make sure I got the dates right. I have to make notes of these things. So, oh good, it's the minis you wanted. I love it when everybody gets what they want. All right, so our next round is going to be for you cat lovers out there. And it is choice, and $10 is the opening bid, and our choices are these. Will I put the dates in the post? Yes, I'll make sure I promote all of this ahead of time. Usually I do videos from the previous show to show you, but since I didn't do the shows last year, I'll have to do previews of some of the things I'm taking to the shows this year. So these are the choices. $10 is the opening bid each, and the choices are this rather scowly cat vase. I love that expression. I had a white cat who had that expression from time to time. And then Mr. Morris, the famous advertising cat of the 1970s and 80s, who was very finicky, as we recall, and only liked, oh, it's so funny. This shows you how advertising lingers with you, and yet it doesn't. Was it 9 Lives or was it Friskies that he was with? Anyhow, so $10 opening bid on both. I think we'll look in here and it will tell us probably. 9 Lives. Okay, great. Yeah, my child advertising brain is still there. And they make Morris look very cute in this book. It's like most celebrity biographies, they make him look much nicer than he was on television because he was kind of a stuck-up thing on TV. But he apparently wrote his own script, so that's pretty good. Interesting. Yes, I've heard that most orange cats are male, and I did not realize that. Um, there he is putting his paw on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm sure he wondered what in the world. What a well-behaved cat, actually, to be around all those people and not go running for the hills. Um, and this was his trainer, I believe, Mary Daniels, who wrote the book. I just thought this was really fun. I hadn't thought about it since I was a kid. On the other hand, this piece, these were done in the 1980s and 90s. And this piece is part of Cats by Nina. And these have started to become really collectible. They typically sell for about $25 to $30 now in this size and more in larger sizes. And this was a studio. And you see there's the mark on the bottom. The mark kind of reminds you of Cliven cats, but there it is. And yeah, Nina Lyman, and these are definitely collectible now. And so there is interest in both of these things on the part of collectors. If is interest in, oh, there we go. Carol Sue and Lorraine both bid 10 at the same time. So Carol Sue is the current high bidder. Lorraine, you'll have to bump up just a little bit if you want to. And but I just think they're fun. And I was a real cat lover. I travel too much to have a pet now, and Zeno is incredibly allergic to cats. So I get to look at them in books and in figures now. Lorraine, $11 for choice. And yeah, the Nina piece, if you look on the back, they did there's Cats by Nina, and they did all of the lines on the back to simulate motion. I do think they're an interesting line. They did all sorts of colors. Some of them are happy looking, some of them are scowly looking. They captured all of that cat attitude that we know. I sold the Cat by Nina. Yeah, they really do well. Oh, I'm sorry you lost your kitty. 18 years is pretty good. I've never had one make it that long. Let's see. I got to do this differently. Here we go. Okay. Yes, we'll have both of them looking away from us because that's what cats do, right? Yeah, I don't know you're there. Okay, Lorraine, I see you at 12, but we've got Carol Sue at 15. So 15 is currently the high bid. Lorraine at 16 now for choice. Ah, I have to drink a lot of water still these days. So 16 for choice on these. Carol Sue, let us know. Or anyone else out there. And let's see if Morris has anything else to say while we're looking. Aw, that's very sweet, Carol. Okay, well, Lorraine, Carol's going to let you have first choice on this, so let us know in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and mark sold. And, oh, yes, Morris in a love scene, which he apparently doesn't want to be in. Okay, so Lorraine, it is choice for you on these. And let us know your choice. And if you take both, they're for you. And if you take one, we'll let Carol Sue have the option of the other if she's interested. You would like the vase. Okay, that's for you. Carol Sue, let us know about the Morris book. I'm going to go ahead and set it down. And I will make a note here. Lorraine. There we go. Was that Burt Reynolds? It sort of looked like him. I think it was some other guy with that 70s mustache. I am pretty sure Morris wasn't in a Burt Reynolds movie, but you never know. Oh, was it? Okay, now two of you have said it. Now I have to look. You were going for the base as well. Okay. Well, Let's see if we can find that picture again because, oh, you know what? I'll be darned. You're right. Diane Cannon and Burt Reynolds. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, that's okay. I think now I'm going to keep this and read it. Yes, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. It's great. Yes, you may have the book. That is absolutely yours. So, um, I will, I will read through it and send it to you. Okay, so Lynn is in for the book. That's great. All right. We're going to do one more round and then we're going to have another giveaway. Um, I think, oh, just for fun, since we were just talking about the 70s, let's do another round of 70s kitsch. And again, $10 opening bid. And our choices here are the, whoops, let me just make sure that this message is not, okay, that's a friend of mine. I always have to make sure that Zeno's not trying to reach me with something I need to know. Okay, so it is choice. And we have the McCoy smiley face mug or the Revere poodle. And the poodle is an earring holder. And I'll show you a little bit about both of these. We'll start with the McCoy mug. This came out around 1970-71. Sometimes they're glazed so heavily that it's hard to see the mark, but you can kind of get the concentric rings in there. Nobody else did this mug, so we know it's theirs. It's in perfect condition, and I just think these are so much fun. I always think of Yvonne Thrifty Rich because she's really big into the smiley faces. And of course, they made a bank and they made cookie jar in this line. I wonder if they made a pitcher. I've never seen one. You would think they would have, considering that they had this. And I wonder how many she has too, Sylvia, because they did make other styles. They made one that says Smile America with stars for eyes in red, white, and blue, and Smile America is the smiley part. They did it in beige. There's various shades of yellow. This is the nice, happy, bright lemon yellow. And then the other piece, and yes, FTD did have the smiley face. I think that was at a later time. And then this is by Revere. Yes, the same Revere that made the copperware. And this was done around 1971 because that was right about the time that, for the first time since really the Victorian era, a lot of women decided to get pierced ears and have pierced earrings instead of clips. That really was not a common thing. My mother did not get her ears pierced until after my sister did, about the time that this came out. And it does have a UPC label because those were also a brand new thing about the time these came out. And these are seeming to sell for about, no, in the $20 range online. So $10 opening bid. If anyone is interested, let us know. I just think that they're a lot of fun. And I know mugs are kind of a big thing. I was really pleasantly surprised. We had a Mara mug from Mexico recently on one of our eBay flights, and it sold for $50 because her stuff's really sought after. Lorraine is in at $10 for choice. Thank you. And you got mine done in 1982 when you were 18. Yes. Yeah, I got one in 1982 as well in my left ear, and I had longish hair, and we were going to a game, and my parents were standing behind me, and the wind blew my hair back, and I could hear my mom say to my dad, "Tom, I think he got his ear pierced." And my dad, who'd been in the Navy and never succumbed to getting a tattoo, said just loud enough so I could hear, "Yeah, well, it's his choice if he wants to mutilate his body in some way that you can never change again. All the guys in my ship got tattoos, but I wasn't ever going to do anything like that." And he took all the fun out of it. All the shock value was gone. So I thought it was very funny. Eventually, mine grew over and I never had it done again. Yes, I was a rebel. I was a rebel wannabe. I wasn't really good at it. So $10 with Lorraine. If anyone else is interested, let us know, or else we'll close this out and we'll go on to our next giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and set these down. And here we go. So Lorraine at choice for 10. And your mom made your sister and you wait until you were 18. Yeah, it's funny. It was considered a big decision then. And when I first got mine pierced, the next year I took a train ride across country and a guy got on the Midwest, in the Midwest, and he was convinced that I was a rock star because only rock stars had pierced ears. I mean, it was a different world then. We forget things were a little more quaint and naive than they are now. I pierced hundreds of ears. Well, I have too, but in a different way when I was a singer. Okay, $10 each. If anyone else is interested, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and close this out for Lorraine, and we'll move on to our next giveaway. So going once, going twice, and we're sold. And Lorraine, let us know if you want one or both, and we'll add those to your list. The poodle is for you. Okay, very good. Let's see. Ray gets the poodle. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to do another giveaway, and the next word, not surprisingly, is Lang, Lang, like our friend Stephanie Lang, who is the YouTuber who does thrifting adventures. And I'm going to let Zeno know that we are getting ready for another. We're ready for number 2. All right. And I should show you what we're giving away this round is this very pretty blue vase. This is 1930s cobalt glass. I don't think this was by Hazel Atlas. I'm not sure. I say 1930s, but honestly, I actually think this was right about World War II. And I believe it was Anchor Hocking because of this ring. Because not all Hocking, well, wait a second. We do have a mark. USA 4. Yeah, I'm thinking Anchor Hocking because of the ring. Not all Anchor Hocking have the anchor mark by this time. It's just a very pretty color. It's a very pretty style. It's about 4 inches tall, and I've just always liked these. And I find these a lot because people think that they're from the 1980s because of the color, but they are actually the original era when cobalt was really hot during the Second World War because red, white, and blue were hot colors at that time. So we're going to go ahead and let everybody get in Lang. Reminds me of the glasses. Yes, it does actually have a similar feel. And just a little bit of a frilly edge, because what we see during wartime, they wanted the Art Deco, but then during wartime, people want things to feel a little softer. And so a ruffly edge gives it that softness. So it's an interesting transitional piece. Potato on the back of the ear. And hello to you, AP Boomker. It's nice to have you with us. All right, I think everybody is in, just about. Let me make sure he knows we're there. We'll try him on the other line and say, we're ready. Okay. So we're just waiting to find out who the winner of drawing number 2 will be, and then we'll go on and have a few more rounds of sales. We'll just take a minute. I'll go ahead and set this over here while we wait for Nightbot to tell us. Nightbot is some sort of a AI thingy, or not AI, but basically a robot makes the drawing, and then we don't have to think about it. Oh, I'm so sorry. He said for some reason it didn't work. Please enter Lang, Lang again, as in Auld Lang Syne. Auld Lang Syne actually came from a Robert Burns poem, and it really is Old English meaning old long since, or old times past, that sort of thing. And it was put to music at a later time, of course, in the 20th century, and that's why we all are so familiar with the expression now. It's interesting because Robert Burns, I took on a consignment once, and there was a very nice painting of Robert Burns from the Victorian era that was rather valuable, and the woman's husband had passed. And he had some plates and some other Robert Burns memorabilia, and she said, "Oh, get that out of here, Robert Burns. what an insufferable drunk he was. And that really bothered her. And I thought, well, I have heard that he was one to tip the bottle a little bit, but I kind of figured since you never met him and it was 150 years ago that you might have gotten over it by now. But she was not happy with Robert Burns. Yes, way too modern. Okay, I think we've got it. And then okay before you tell the world. Okay. Okay. And he and Dylan Thomas. Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, there were a few. I think a lot of the English poets actually had some substance abuse problems. Ah, Carol Sue, you are the winner. I got it. That's great. Okay. Well, congratulations, Carol Sue. And we're going to go on and sell well, we've got three more lots and then we'll have one more giveaway while we're here. So the next lot is going to be choice. Everything tonight is choice. And again, $10 opening bid. Now, the choice here, I'll quickly hold up both, are the Venetian glass ashtray, which is a Murano, a Submerso type, or the set of 4 polka dot glasses. This is the ashtray I mentioned had a chip. So I want to show you that before anybody jumps in on this, because I did not notice it when I put it aside for this, but it does have a little spot of roughness right here where my finger is, and I'm big on honest disclosure. So I just want you to see that. It is not entirely perfect, but it is a nice little heavy piece of glass. And the other choice are the set of 4 tumblers with the polka dots from, I would say sometime, polka dots were really popular in the early 60s and they were kind of pervasive through to about 1970. And I would say with these colors, you're probably looking right about 1970. And I do not know who the maker of this particular set was. I thought they were Libby from the shape, but they do not have the Libby L. So, okay, Corinne is the opening bid at $10. Thank you for that. So again, $10 for choice. They are glass. Yes, they are. And now Peter at 11. Yeah, they are absolutely glass. They ring well, and whenever you have screen print glass, always look on the inside to make sure the color is the same on the outside, because if these went through a dishwasher and got washed enough times, you might start losing the color. So I never buy them until I make sure that the color is the same inside and out. Okay, Sarah at 15. Now Miss Wildlife at 16 for choice. And again, it's 4 glasses. I can only hold one up safely at a time. I don't want to make any more chips. And then the Submerso piece, I've always liked the green and or the teal and blue together, and you see it really well from up top, and you see it from the side as well if you have it up in a light. If you want to bid, how do you pay? Well, what you do, Nancy, is, and I'll type it in the chat right now, we're at $25 choice with Sarah. You would send an email, and this is true if you win a giveaway as well, to the antique nomad at gmail.com. And then I will get your address. I will send you, I will figure out the shipping, and I will send you an invoice for the total price. And I take Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Cash App. I've even taken old-fashioned checks if you're willing to wait. And you can mail me one. I will take that too. I'm pretty open to that. It's funny, a lot of younger people have never even used a check. And I know some people who are new to the antique business are afraid to take checks. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've had 2 checks go bad, and both of the people contacted me before they bounced, said, I'm sorry, there was a problem with my account, and made good on it within 3 days. So I do not have a problem with checks. Okay, Miss Wildlife is out. Sarah is the high bidder for choice at 25. And I believe that that is our high bidder. So, oh, let me put that in for you, Nancy. I didn't hit enter. So I think we're sold here. If anyone else is in, let us know, but we're going once, we're going twice, and we're going to go ahead and hit sold. And Sarah, if you'll just let us know in the chat whether you're interested in the ashtray or the set of tumblers, and then we will make available the other piece to Miss Wildlife if she's interested, if you only take one. And let me make a note of this. Okay, Sarah would like the ashtray. That's great. Miss Wildlife, let us know in the chat if you are interested in the set of tumblers, and I will be glad to make those available to you. And while we do that, I'm going to get the next thing ready to go here and pull a couple things closer to me. He set me up with this great big huge table, and still with all this stuff on it, it's just barely enough room. I have been known to take a lot of room. Okay, let's see here. Miss Wildlife would like the tumblers. Very good. I love it when everybody gets what they want. Right. Okay. This is our penultimate. We're going to have 2 more rounds of sale, and then we're going to do another giveaway. And our penultimate here, these are 1930s porcelains or ceramics, and they could not be more different than one another, but they're both cool in their own way. And again, $10 will be the opening bid. And one is this child's dish. This is very similar to one that my mother had in her collection from the 1930s. It's a very sweet one. I love the shape. And most of these are American, but I'm actually thinking that this one is English because I'm pretty sure this is a shape by the Midwinter Company out of England, and it is not marked. The other piece is also not marked, but this is Camargue pottery, and yes, couldn't be any more different than the child's dish in terms of its nature. The lights are kind of hot and it makes it look more like a dusty rose, but it's actually a deep maroon color. It is more, let me kind of shadow it there. The shadow color is more what it really looks like. This is called the pelican pitcher, and you can see why, because it has this shape like the pelican head, and then this mouth is the pelican mouth. And it's really cool looking from all angles. Camargue was not always marked. This was made in Arkansas in the 1930s. Corinne is at $10. There we go. Oh, you had a bad experience with the check. Yeah. Yeah, the problem can be your bank. Yeah, the people who made up the checks, in my case, they paid the bank fee because my bank didn't charge 35, but I think they charged 10 or 12. And the people who bounced the checks paid for it and made sure that I wasn't out. So there we go. Yes, a very cool shape in the pitcher and a very sweet shape for the child's dish. Sylvia now $12 choice. And Corinne now 13. You never had a bad check in all your days. Yeah, it's rare. And to be honest with you, one of the 2 people who did it was a dealer I had known for years. The other one was a customer who bought a bar from me for a few $100s, and they called and said, we just got home and realized that they bought it because they moved into a new house, and they said, we realized we just wrote the account on the bank that we left behind, and we closed that account, so we're sending you a new check today. And so all was well. Okay, we've got Sylvia at 14, P. Badger at 15. Hello there. Corinne at 16 for choice on these. You will notice on the Camargue, there's a little bit of glaze skipping because, it's ceramic and sometimes that happens. One side has none. One side does have one little skip. And so I wanted to show that. But I think they're just really neat looking. It's such an interesting piece to me. Yeah, if you keep your face in full view, the camera won't try to overexpose. Well, that's good. I'll try that. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, you're right. That is better. Thank you. It helps to have a photographer. See, Pete, I'm telling you, I do need you backstage. Okay, so there you go. You got a good look at him now, and the exposure is much better. So So we're at $16 for choice, now 17 with Sylvia. Yes, we've got this, and then we'll have a pair of glass beaded necklaces will be our next lot. So stay tuned for that. Corinne is out, so Sylvia, I believe these are yours, but I'm going to give P. Badger a moment to jump in. If you want to make a higher bid, the current bid is $17. And so P. Badger, let us know. Corinne is out, and we are yeah, that is a good tip, actually. We all have a lot to learn. I know antiques and vintage a lot better than I know technical aspects of things like photography and computers, so it's definitely been a ride. So we'll give one more moment for P. Badger to let us know if you're still in. Otherwise, we will close this out and let Sylvia make first choice. So just waiting to hear. I think that's a Parcheesi board or something on your avatar there, P. Badger. Yes, Pete is very nice. I've met him in person. I've gotten to meet a lot of you in person, and I'm really looking forward to getting out and traveling again and getting to meet more of you. It's always fun when I encounter somebody who's seen me through the screen in person. That's part of why I really enjoy doing what I do. Okay, you're out, so we're going to sell this to Sylvia Lee. Sylvia, $17 choice. Let us know in the comments which one, or if you want both, they are both available. And then Corinne would be the backup. And if she doesn't want it, P. Badger. Okay, Sylvia will take the Camart picture. That's great. Corinne, if you're interested in the plate, let us know. And P. Badger, if you are interested in the plate, let us know. Corinne does have first option on that. And we'll make a note of this. Okay, she passes on that. And P. Badger, let us know if you are. I'm sorry not to call you by your name, but I don't think we've met. It's a little hard because they've changed the way that your names appear, and so a whole lot of you are showing up with numbers behind your name, and it makes it a little confusing. Okay. Quilt. Yes, Lorraine, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going until I get there. And Oklahoma, I actually didn't think I was going to be stopping. I thought I was going to be driving through. And like I said, because I'm taking things slower, it ended up being a slower process. So at some point, I'm going to have to put an address book and an email book and together to take with me when I travel so that I can actually reach people. Okay, you'll pass too. All right, very good. So we are going to go on to our last piece, and then I'm going to let Zeno now that, oh, you only have one other piece right now. Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad to have something. Okay, we have one more announce. All right. I am letting him know that we have one more auction, and then that way he'll be ready and we won't have any problems. So our last one is for choice, and it is glass beaded necklaces, and these are really nice, I think. In my estimation, they are. One of them is really, really long, and the other one is Italian Millefiori beads. And so I'm going to show you that one first. The measurements on this, I think I put my tape in the other but this is approximately 26 inches. This is Millefiori. And yes, you're welcome to bid, and a couple of you already are. Lorraine is in first at 10. These are Millefiori beads in red, and Millefiori is where they cut the rods of glass and then melt them together and then polish them into beads. And that way you get the Millefiori, which are the 1,000 flowers, and it's all these wonderful colors, and they're just really fun. And then the other one, and this is a really nice quality piece. This one's really long. This one is, I think, probably 1970s, late 70s or 80s, because it's a teal color. This one is 40 inches. It's huge. And these are teal colored beads, and they are all hand knotted in between. I always look for that. Hand knotting of beads means there is a sign of quality because they don't all rattle together, and they have a silvering on them in kind of a random design, as you see here. And so I think they're really neat. And so let's see, we had Lorraine at 10, Jody at 15, Pete at 20, Lorraine at 21, Pete now at 25, Corinne at $30 for choice. So we are at $30 for choice on these. And I think they're both just really neat pieces. I was very excited to actually, this one, the Millefiori, I found in Mexico with Betty. And the teal one I got in Missouri on the last stop of the last day of this trip. So I just thought these were great. Okay, Lorraine is out. Thank you for letting us know. Jody at $31 for choice. I just thought they were pretty special, and I wanted there to be something fun. And okay, there we go. That was more than I could hold, but it sort of looks like Bo Derek. All right. So Jody at 31, Corinne at 32, Jody at 33, Corinne at 34. And I'll do like Pete said and put these back here so you get the true colors. And you can see them there. I just think that this one's a very happy red, and I just thought this was really interesting. I've seen Millefiori before, and they're very nice, and they sell well and for pretty good prices. And this one I had never seen, and I just thought these beads were really nice. Okay. It's not a hat. No, that's true. So Corinne, we're in at 34. Jody, let us know. Just don't block your face. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because the certain things when I'm showing them, I have to block my face or it focuses on my face and not on the object. So it's really, even though I've been doing this a few years, there's still learning curve. 35 now with Jody. 36 now with Corinne. Ah, there we go. Yeah, they really are pretty. Okay. Jody says she's out. So Corinne, I think it is up to you to choose what you would like. We're going to let Corinne choose. If one's left, we'll see if Jody wants the other one, and then we will have our final drawing of the night. And yeah, I agree, Sarah. I really do think that they're really pretty. I wanted to let something special go and not just hold them out of pure selfishness for other times. So, okay, Corinne wants the blue. That's great. And those are for you. Yeah, and you know each other well. Jody, if you are interested in the Millefiori red, let us know. Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, see, everybody got what they wanted. That makes me very happy. And I'm going to let Zito know. The last word, let me show you actually the piece. So our final drawing is for, do I have the right piece? No, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing. Just a moment. Our final drawing, the word sign as in auld lang syne, is for this vase, and this is Red Wing. It's a cylinder vase, it's a tumbler, it is 1930s, and it's a wonderful orange color with ribbing and white on the inside, because Red Wing was one of the first to catch on to two-toning on cars and other things in the 1930s and introduced it to pottery. And that is their 1930s period pottery piece. And yes, Sylvia has spelled sign correctly, if you're wondering. SYNE is what we are looking for. as in Auld Lang Syne. And I'll put this back here because, like Pete said, now you see the real color. That is the color. And it's a very pretty piece and very practical. I suppose you could use it as a bedside drinking glass if you wanted, because it is glazed on the inside, so it's not going to leak. And it's a nice size for that too. But it was actually sold originally as a vase. And I thought that it was just it's just something different. I've actually sold these very well when I've had this color of Red Wing before, because they didn't do a lot of orange. They did a lot of other really fun colors, but not so much in the orange. And part of the reason for that is usually these colors of orange, red required uranium. And in 1941, the government said, we are keeping all of the uranium in case we go to war. And uranium was not released to be used in home goods until the 1960s, and that's when Fenton started making the uranium glass again. So, yes, I've been looking at Red Wing more and more. Ah, Connie Jean. Well, that's wonderful. You are the winner of the giveaway, and thank you, Zeno, for handling that for us. Let me see here. I will make a note that this goes to Connie Jean, and Red Wing cylinder vase. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me tonight and spending part of your holidays with me. Happy New Year, Auld Lang Syne, and all that good stuff. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat now. I will hopefully see a bunch of you for the premiere on Wednesday. Level 3 members, again, we will have our chat right after that. And then on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be having the bid call auction. And like I say, you can go to the, if you go to Rosie's Auction House, I think she's got the link to her Facebook posted there. We will be posting it, I believe, tomorrow. And you can actually pre-bid if you can't be at the sale. I'm bringing Robert Heldpiece, some Swarovski and Waterford, and a piece of Wavecrest from the Victorian era, and some other really neat stuff. And I've seen the catalog, and there's some really cool stuff in it again this time. She really does find great stuff. And Eileen from New York, who helps us out at Teak Stock, is putting some cool things in too. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. And hopefully we'll see you for any of those things. And thank you. I think it's going to be epic too. I feel like it's a new adventure. Happy New Year to everybody. And we will see you again very soon. And let's see, 5 p.m. Pacific. Yes, that's no, I'm sorry. The auction will be 4 p.m. Pacific, because it's 7 p.m. Eastern, and then the premiere will be 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. The auction will be 7 p.m. Eastern on New Year's night. So we will look forward to seeing you all soon. And Happy New Year to you all.